Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Thriving Talks to Anthony's Take. We're going to have a insightful conversation. For those that are new to the channel, we make mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about from surviving and thriving, creating environments for your support in regards to your mental health. In the previous video I drafted was the hidden harm in regards to mental health impacts of microaggressions. If you haven't checked that out, that was the part one. So please get tuned into what microaggressions are, how they impact people on the daily, what are some coping mechanisms, and how, like I said, this really causes a sharp pain towards some people, and how we're able to develop a creating an environment it will be part two in regards to today's video. So I wanted to be able to develop a video to create healing space physically and socially environments that will be able to reduce stress and give people that recovery to support long-term mental health wellness, especially for those that are impacted by those microaggressions and that chronic identity of that stress, right? So why your space matters. You can't always control the outside world that I mentioned in part one and in general, but you can always design spaces that can help you heal from it. And today I'm really going to just kind of dive into that if you're able to, stick with me. So number one, in regards to our first segment, is going to be the environmental psychology, the basics, right? So environment influences mood, cognition, and the nervous system. Your home, workplace, and social spaces should serve your emotional needs. Even small spaces, can do as well, and that can be able to provide that big relief as well. I always advocate for breathing techniques. You really want to get yourself grounded. You also want to be able to get yourself in an area where you can stretch, release, the tension in your body. So, just keep these things in mind, and also too for corporations as well, to be able to provide this, in the workplace as well. But moving forward, we're going to talk about, the light, the color, the clarity. We really want to be able to, to involve those into the scenery. So natural light provides that mood, right? As you guys can see right behind me, we have that light coming in, which boosts, better sleep. We ain't gonna sleep at work, right? But provides that higher serotonin. It can lighten up and, help you wind down if needed, which is good overall. We have color. So cool tones, you also want to focus on calm colors like green, blues, like the nature type of colors, warm tones provide that energy, natural, and in minerals and stuff like that, materials, provide that grounding effect. So that is good. Make sure your space is clean. For real, you know what I mean? Look around, walk with me, so we can, see certain things. Cause this is a good building right here. They did some renovations, so I really want you guys to see this, see what's up. So this is a little area right here. I ain't gonna walk the full hallway, but you get the gist of it. You know what I mean? You also want to, the next segment we're going to be talking about is adding, rise up a little bit, is adding nature and sensory supports, right? So, bring in, house plants if needed, wood textures, natural light, as we talked about, rain, birds to calm down the nervous system, different sounds, even rain sounds can really, are good as well. Scents in regards to lavender, citrus to reduce the stress, boost the mood, you know what I mean? Make sure it smells good in your environment. These is good too. Sanitize. Make sure, like I said, make sure your area is clean, you know what I mean? Because when you have a clean environment, it really just adds into your productivity. You're able to perform, you feel good, you don't feel cringy because you know what I mean? There's hair, dust, and all these different, molecules, if I may say, everywhere. So it's just really just provide yourself a supporting space, advocate for that if needed, Next, we're going to be talking about social space and emotional boundaries. So curate in regards to people, not just to decorate as well, is, affirm your identity. Really just dive into that. Make sure people, be yourself if you can, and just, set those boundaries if necessary, right? So use boundaries to remove yourself from toxic spaces or interactions. Don't get too much into the drama. Know what you're here for. Provide, service, provide excellence, and productivity, Think before you speak, and think before you act upon your behavior, Recognize those things. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about make space for what you need, right? So create healing micro zones, which could be like reading a nook. This is something they had like the behavioral schools, I remember, is like a reading area where they're able to just sit down in like a beanbag, really just relax, a nice comfortable area or a seat, a journaling corner, so you're able to, write things down, express your feelings, your emotions, what's going on, positive things, gratitude, really just be able to center the mind, right, and be present in that moment. Next thing is like a meditation mat. You're able to just, get into your bag, stretch if needed, meditate, use visual prompts of gratitude, journaling on the table, calming your playlist ready to go. Also too, when it comes to, something that you may do in the office is that I always do is I write motivational quotes, because every month that you're moving prosper, you're trying to navigate, this will help you, navigate through. For instance, this one says the only limit to your impact is your imagination and your commitment, by Tony Robbins. Next one is when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, you'll be successful, Eric Thompson. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, Zig Ziglar. Whatever the mind you conceive and believe it, you can achieve, Napoleon Hill. You know what I mean? So you just got to put these different things around you that will add that motivation to you accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish. And whatever you believe, you can achieve. You know what I mean? So put that motivation around you, journaling, you know what I mean? You have to do the practice, right? So just wrapping these things up in regards to that microaggression. We may have things, went through things, and we go through things on the daily, but one thing that we can control is our environment. So in our spaces, we can do what we can do, right? And some of the things that we discussed today will be able to help us have an area where we're able to relax, chill, and even heal, unconsciously, as we don't even realize it, but being present, doing the practice and the reading and getting ourselves familiar, sticking with Thrive Talks, right? We're really going to be able to grow long term, right? So your environment can help you set that reset button. You are designed. When you are being intentional, it becomes a soft landing space where you're able to be safe, you're able to feel belonged, and then you can be able to exhale now and, and heal. So please, if you think this video is beneficial, throw a thumbs up. Keep thriving with me. See you on the next one.